Cody.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for spending the day with us. I don't take it lightly that you guys are busy professionals, and you chose to spend some time with us on a Thursday. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be seeding into your businesses. We're going to be diving into SAM, and we're going to actually get our hands a little bit dirty with the actual building. But by the end of this, you're going to walk away with some ready to press play on processes, some systems, and gosh, if nothing else, a really good understanding of exactly what that next step is inside of your business. Hey, real quick, this training is most useful as an execution tool. So I want to make sure you have everything you need. If you're not yet plugged into SAM, this is going to be the first move. And I want to give you 14 days of access on me. That way you can set up, build, and succeed alongside us as we go through each of the training modules. It's as simple as going to sam.workflowsecrets.info, clicking sign up, entering your details, and then you're ready to go. If you need it, I'll throw the link down below and I'll see you inside. Now back to the training. My name's Cody Stepp. For those of you who don't know me, I co-founded this company, Workflow Secrets, with Mark. Kind of started off in 2021 as just a training thing. And Mark and I were pretty quick to AI. And shortly after a little bit of self-discovery, I said to myself, you know, we're teaching a lot of real estate agents how to use these tools, but they're going away from these events and all of the excitement fades, the energy drops, and they were reaching out to me saying, gosh, I don't know what to do. And at that point, there were kind of two paths that I felt I could take. I could either build out what are called prompt libraries, or just pre-written commands to AI, and a lot of folks do that, or I could dig deep into my background in technology and software and growing up next to this guy, and I could actually build a tool. Well, fast forward a little bit later, I had a problem. I needed a way to manage all of the customers, all of the leads that were coming into my business. And shortly after, I tried to spaghetti code for a little bit. I think it's called vibe coding now, maybe a little bit of a kinder way to say that. But Mark became available, and I presented what I like to think is the best offer to him.
It was a fun offer.
It was a fun offer. I pulled the Sun card. I said, "Hey, Dad, I know you've done this twice now. I think that my software is at a point that we could really have some fun with it. Would you want to build your dream system?" And that is what SAM has become. And it is still on its way. We've got so much that we've been able to do, but the vision for SAM is a platform that meets you guys where you're at. At the end of the day, you're not always in your office. You don't always want to be in front of a desktop. And whether you want to attend a training and build processes from your desktop, or you want to be in the car having a conversation and be able to talk directly to your business and all of the details and all of the knowledge. Well, AI makes that possible. And that's exactly where we're headed with SAM. But a little bit of, future casting for now. I'm just so grateful for this journey. It's been so much fun. I'm so grateful for all of you who have invested your time, your resources, and really trusted Mark and I to steward your businesses. And hopefully we can continue to do that even greater today. But without further ado, I'm going to kick this off and turn the stage over to Mark. Mark is a real estate technologist, 36-year vet. He's built two of the most used real estate CRMs. He's personally coached tens of thousands of real estate agents. He has been the keynote speaker at several events, and I just get to keep adding accolades to the rap sheet. It's been a lot of fun, but Mark, go ahead. The stage is yours.
Thank you. All right, guys. I don't want to spend a lot of time on slides, but I do have slides. I want to really dive into some of the things that we've built into SAM, and some of that just takes a little bit of background and why you need this or why it's there so that you can understand the importance of it. So definitely we're gonna cover that. So let me go ahead and share this. You should be able to see that. Whenever Cody said, "Hey, are you interested in building your dream CRM?" It was a matter of coming up or thinking about all the different things that over those 36 years that I've always wanted. Now, you can't see it, it's off stage. One of the things that I do is I write in a journal type book. This journal that I use, it's about 100 pages or so. And what I do is I just kind of brain dump everything that's in my brain about what the ideas and stuff that I have. And it looks like Cody's got my library here of things, and it's just a stack. If you turn it around, you'll see that each one of these have versions, the lines on there of ideas and what order they go in. So just using the lines on there, I kind of mark up what volume it is or whatever. But I've got a couple dozen of these books of things that I wanted to build, and I'm not there yet. Unfortunately, there's a lot to go on it, but man, there's so much to it. I don't want to overwhelm people, but I also want to make sure that you guys see the value in your business on the tools that can be used, and if they are tied together, how they fit together, and make this a much more comprehensive method of doing things. AI is great. Don't get me wrong. I love AI wherever I can put it. The problem is, in a lot of systems, AI is being patchworked into things, and you use it here, you use it there, and then you have to cut, copy, paste, and do different things to share information back and forth. Now with Claude and some of the other tools, they're trying to bring things together, but then you also get the situation where those things get you about 80 to 90% there, and then it's just not quite complete. And my goal over the next few years is, really make that comprehensive, all-in-one, cradle to grave type of product that utilizes AI in a way that brings it all together, that brings the parts and pieces together, whether it's the contacts, the properties, the transactions, all the different aspects of the software into one piece. And that's what SAM plus AI actually is. It's your operating system in your business, and everything flows through it. Everything flows through it in one way or another. Now, there are tools out there that are amazing, and for me to reinvent them would be ludicrous. So we do a lot of integrations as well. We don't have to reinvent everything. If there is a very good comprehensive tool, let's integrate with it. Let's incorporate it into it. So we've done that, and we're going to go through some of the really important integrations that I feel are important. Some of them are only scratching the surface right now on what we're going to be doing with them. Some of them have some really good pieces in them already. So this is going to be a kind of a comprehensive look of what SAM ultimately comes down to. And we're going to be talking about what I call my core strategies, my 4 core pillars of how you do business, and it's all incorporated into the software. It's how we've built this through the system. To really begin this, I want to make sure that everybody understands my core strategy, C.O.R.E, conversions, operations, retention, and experience, and how it really is a cycle. It's a cycle of process that you're doing, and how it relates to not only your business as a real estate agent, but virtually every business that deals with people. There is, in the conversion process, you're actually attracting people into your business. You're generating the leads. You're using lead magnets to get their attention, so they sign up, give their information to you. That information then needs to get put into a database, and that's where Sam comes in. And then once they get put in there, then you start going through the lead nurture process. At some point, they will sign on the dotted line as either a buyer's agreement or a listing agreement, in which case then you go into the operations. And the operations is your moneymaker. That's where whatever your expertise is in what we're doing today, it's all about real estate. We've got lenders and title and escrow people as well, but the operations piece is where a lot of the systems that you're going to put together, we're going to go through and actually build some of those today and going through that process. But before we build them, we have to do some setup. But this operations area is important because it's what helps even out your yins and yangs, your hills and valleys, those the highs and lows of this industry whenever it comes to your income. If I can just train one thing about how to level out your business so that you're systematized in a way that everything is running on autopilot, then you don't have to spend so much time in one area neglecting another area and then letting it fail. And that's what causes that up and down. And we'll get through that. The operations is probably the most time sensitive element, because you've got all your contract dates, all your deadlines and things like that, and those have to be dealt with while you're going through that listing to contract to close process. There's all kinds of deadlines and dates and stuff that have to be dealt with, and we set up the systems to deal with those. You're optimizing your actual business. You're making it so that you can scale your business in a way that no matter if you've got one client or you've got 100 clients or 1,000 clients, it all flows. And I use this example in a lot of places where, why is it that McDonald's, a business that's being run by high schoolers in many cases, how do they do so much business? It's because of systems. Once they close, then they go into the retention. This is where you nurture them over time. And with the way houses sell, it could be 3 years, it could be 5 years, it could be 12 or 20 years before they do any additional purchasing of houses, unless they're investors or something like that, where you need to nurture people for a long period of time. That nurture helps keep you in their mind whenever they do go to think about, hey, I'm thinking about buying or selling a house. Who should I talk to? You're the one that comes to mind immediately. And we want that. Or if they've got somebody in their office or somebody that says, hey, do you know a good realtor or something like that? Your name pops right off their tongue because you've been nurturing them over time. And that retention piece is what a lot of agents fail at. I think it's like 86% of all buyers and sellers say that they would use their realtor again, but only 13%, something like that, actually do. So it's crazy because you're just letting money sit on the table. or it goes to somebody else's table, and we don't want that. Then the last part of this, which really is interjected into the conversions, operations, and retention, is that experience. Not your experience in real estate, but the experience that you give your people through the other three elements. What kind of experience you want to surprise and delight them. You want to give them an experience that they remember, and hopefully it's a good experience that they remember, because bad experiences that they remember can be detrimental. But things that you can do to surprise and delight your customers. And as we go through, this is our four core pillars of everything that we do within SAM. What databases we use, what information we create, what processes we set up, all of it is guided off of the core strategies. And if you understand the core strategies, you know where things go, it just kind of makes more sense. So we'll go through that and break that down. Now, I'm going to start speeding through everything as quickly as possible from this point forward. Why do most agents lose their leads? It's because things that happen in between and not having systems in place to do it. We've kind of already talked about that. But whenever people, just the painful reality, kind of go through this one section here. We can create forms. Visitors visit those forms. They fill out the information. It comes to you, and what happens? Well, most agents will call that person maybe one time, and typically it takes 15 times of calling before they actually do things, or sending information one time, and you don't have a system in place to handle constant contacting of these people, so things get dropped. And those are the types of things that we want to solve for. So the real cost of that is just the fact that you've got delays happening, you've got people falling through the cracks. And I like to say it this way: you don't have a lead problem in most cases, you have a leak problem. You're letting things leak through because it's not systematized, or the systems that you're using have problems or challenges with them. So definitely something we need to deal with. Not going to spend time on this. This is just a kind of showing you how everything is interacted. I'll come back to that later. The conversion process, we're going to talk about how do I get my landing pages created, creating lead magnets, bringing in information, and using that information then to provide content for other things, and setting up systems and routing those leads that come in from those using routing and stuff in the CRM. We'll cover that as well. That operations piece, I do want to make sure that the one thing that we have really tried to deal with is operations is everything to do with the property. For real estate agents anyway, the operations piece really goes through the property, the listing, your offers, and the contract period. That's all the operation stuff. We're going to go through and build in a few different aspects of those. And I want you to start thinking right now about what is the thing that I have my most challenging time with. If I have a new listing that comes in, is it the listing, the marketing that takes all my time to kind of set up? Or if I get an offer in and contract to close, where am I spending my time? And maybe I don't like spending this. Maybe it's something that you just don't enjoy doing. I want to have you start thinking now about what are those elements, and we're gonna build in those pieces into the system. The retention, already talked about that. Won't go through that. And then the experience, already talked about that. So one of the things that is important inside of SAM, and we're going to really dive into this a lot in a lot of different ways, is making sure that you have the system set up so that instead of getting generic automated email type content, that you can utilize the information that's inside of SAM to really personalize and make things look good and sound good in your voice. Just in your mind, think about this. You don't want generic looking stuff. You want it more personalized. This is what SAM is going to help you do. And then the entire journey, we kind of went through and talked about that. One of the pieces that I want to emphasize is whenever we start personalizing content, we're creating content. We can use different types of tools to take that content and make it look good and make it look so that people want it, desire to have it, and being able to make it inviting to actually use, because the more inviting it looks, the more likely they're going to give you information about themselves to get that content. So think about this. If you go to Facebook and you start looking at stuff, what captures your eye? Well, typically there's some piece of information, there's some video, there's something that captures your eye. Maybe only for a split second, but it captures it just for a moment. And typically it's something visual, typically it's something that stands out. And the content that you're going to be creating is something that's important. So we utilize a couple different tools. Manus is one. We're going to talk about how to import that or set that up so that we can import information from Manus. Making polished content with PDFs, using different tools, even like Gamma, some of the other things. Making those landing pages, making those look good, using Gemini's ability to create images and information that can be put on a landing page so that ultimately we get that person's information. These pieces rely on doing some setup. So that's what we're going to do right now, is we're going to take all of these different parts and pieces of things and get them set up this morning so that we can really move into what's necessary to do inside the system once you have those setups and put into place.